Level 1. The Detractor, WAR less than 0.0. These are the players actively hurting their team. Level 1 players generate negative wins above replacement, meaning they perform worse than a healthy scratch would. Their presence on the ice costs their team standing points. The analytical profile is brutal. These players show massive deficiencies across multiple categories: poor even-strength defense, taking too many penalties, generating terrible shot metrics. When they're on the ice, their team gets outshot, outchanced, and outscored. Their Corsi numbers are underwater. Their expected goals against are through the roof. In every measurable way, they make their team worse. What makes Level 1 players dangerous isn't just their poor play, it's that they often carry significant cap hits. A veteran signed for $5 million who produces negative 3.0 WAR creates what's called the negative surplus trap. The team isn't just overpaying, they're actively losing games because this player is on the roster instead of someone better. Consider the math. If a team is projected to finish with 93 standing points and miss the playoffs by 2 points, a single Level 1 player producing negative 3.0 WAR could be the entire reason they missed. Replace that player with even a replacement level option at 0.0 WAR, and suddenly the team gains 3 standing points and makes the playoffs. Studies show that truly awful players can damage a team as much as elite players help them. The difference is that bad players are often protected by confirmation bias. Management sees what they want to see, ignoring the statistical reality screaming from the data. They remember the one good game and ignore the 40 games of disaster. Replacing a Level 1 player is the easiest way to improve a team. Get them out of the lineup and the wins start coming. Yet teams hold on to these players far longer than they should. Sunk cost fallacy takes over. They've already paid the signing bonus, already committed the cap space. Walking away feels like admitting defeat, so they keep running them out there while the losses pile up. Level 2, the replacement player, WAR approximately 0.0. Level 2 defines the baseline. These players generate approximately 0.0 WAR, meaning they neither help nor hurt the team compared to a typical healthy scratch. They are the statistical 0 point from which all other value is measured. Their role is organizational depth. They're the 7th defenseman, the 13th forward, the guy who rotates in when someone gets injured. They play minimal minutes and provide insurance at league minimum salary. When the team needs a body in the lineup, they're the body. When everyone's healthy, they're watching from the press box. This tier includes young prospects burning the first year of their entry-level contract without having established themselves. These are the 20-year-olds learning the NHL game, adjusting to the speed. For them, Level 2 is a developmental stage. It also includes veterans trying to hang on for one more season, the 35-year-olds who used to be stars but have lost a step. The critical difference between Level 1 and Level 2 is stability. A detractor requires immediate action. A replacement player is a manageable cost of doing business, cheap, available, and neutral. They don't hurt you, which in the NHL is sometimes enough. The financial efficiency of Level 2 players is their greatest asset. At league minimum salary, they provide maximum cap flexibility. That money saved can be allocated to higher-level talent. Smart organizations maintain a pipeline of Level 2 talent, developing prospects in the AHL who can step in when needed. Level 3, the contributor support player, WAR 0.5 to 1.5. Level 3 players provide reliable, positive value. They're effective middle six forwards and solid secondary defensemen who do their jobs without fanfare. These are the players who make teams functional, who turn a collection of stars into an actual roster capable of winning games. These players often specialize. Maybe they excel on the penalty kill. Maybe they're defensively responsible and rarely make mistakes. Maybe they're excellent in the face-off circle. They have a defined role, and they execute it consistently. Night after night, they show up and do their job. The separator between Level 2 and Level 3 is character. Competitiveness, perseverance, resilience, commitment to self-improvement. These traits keep players in the NHL. Level 3 players arrive at the rink early and leave late. They study video. They work with skills coaches in the summer. They understand that staying in the NHL requires constant effort. Financially, they typically earn $3 to $7 million. Finding a Level 3 player who produces 1.2 WAR for $4.5 million is exactly what smart GMs hunt for: positive surplus value without star prices. These contracts are the backbone of efficient roster construction. The best Level 3 players understand their role and embrace it. They're not trying to be stars. They're team-first players who care more about winning than personal statistics. They block shots, take hits to make plays, do the dirty work that doesn't show up on the highlight reel but shows up in the win column. Every Stanley Cup winner has a core of Level 3 contributors who provide depth, versatility, and reliability. They're the third-line center who can move up when someone gets injured. They're the penalty kill specialist who shuts down the opponent's power play in a 7-game series. Level 4, the Star All-Star, WAR 1.5 to 3.0. Level 4 players are legitimate stars. They're top 6 forwards and top 4 defensemen who drive play and produce consistently. Players like Dylan Larkin and Devin Taves define this tier. These are the players who make all-star teams, who get serious consideration for major awards. The separator between Level 3 and Level 4 is hockey sense. Level 3 players have the physical tools, speed, strength, size. Level 4 players have the mental game. They make the right decisions with and without the puck. They read plays before they develop. It's the difference between reacting to what's happening and anticipating what's about to happen. This mental acuity translates directly into higher WAR. Better decisions mean more even strength offense, more penalties drawn, fewer mistakes. A Level 4 forward doesn't just score goals, they create scoring chances for their linemates. A Level 4 defenseman doesn't just prevent goals, they transition the puck efficiently. The NHL's offer sheet compensation structure confirms their value. The upper end of Level 4 cap hits, $7 to $9.36 million, requires a first, second, and third round pick if another team tries to sign them. That's the league officially saying these players are core assets whose loss demands significant compensation. Level 4 players are the foundation of competitive teams. They're the second-line center who can match up against the opponent's top line. They're the power play quarterback. They're the shutdown defenseman who takes the tough defensive assignments. They allow your stars to be stars by taking on complementary roles. The draft is the most efficient way to acquire Level 4 talent. A first-round pick who develops into a Level 4 player on an entry-level contract provides massive surplus value. They're producing like an $8 million player while earning less than $1 million. That efficiency allows teams to build around them. Level 5, the franchise star, WAR 3.0 to 4.5. Level 5 players are unquestionably elite. They're first-line forwards, number 1 defensemen like Quinn Hughes and Miro Heiskanen, and Vezina-caliber goalies. They can be the primary cornerstone of a contending team or the critical secondary star on a championship roster. These players dominate nearly every WAR component. Even strength offense, power play production, defensive impact, they excel everywhere. They're the players who take over games in high-leverage situations. When the game is on the line, these are the players you want on the ice. The gap between Level 4 and Level 5 is where value becomes exponential. While a Level 3 player might cost a second or third round pick in a trade, a Level 5 franchise star commands multiple first-round picks and top prospects. The scarcity curve kicks in hard here. There are maybe 30 to 40 Level 5 players in the entire league at any given time. General managers recognize that Level 5 talent can't be easily replicated or developed quickly. These players provide guaranteed elite performance right now, which is why teams mortgage their future to acquire them. The trade narrative becomes high risk, high reward, trading lottery tickets for proven excellence. The most famous recent example is the Jack Eichel trade. Vegas gave up Alex Tuch, Peyton Krebs, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick to acquire Eichel. That's a massive package. But Vegas got a Level 5 franchise center who immediately became their best forward and helped them win the Stanley Cup. Financially, Level 5 players command $9.5 to $12.5 million in cap hit. That's roughly 12 to 15% of the total cap space. Teams have to build around these contracts, which means finding value elsewhere. You can't have 3 Level 5 players all making $12 million unless you're filling out the rest of the roster with cheaper deals. The best Level 5 players are the ones who make their teammates better. They don't just produce individually, they elevate everyone around them. A Level 5 center makes his wingers better. A Level 5 defenseman makes his defensive partner better. Their presence on the ice changes the entire dynamic of the game. Level 6, the MVP candidate, WAR 4.5 to 6.5. Level 6 is the league's most exclusive club. Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, Nikita Kucherov, these are the perennial award candidates, the top 10 players, the undisputed best player on almost any team. These are the players who transcend the sport, who become household names. They are the foundation around which championship aspirations are built. They provide the highest game-to-game impact in the sport. They're the difference between playoff contention and Stanley Cup favorites. When you have a Level 6 player, you have a chance. Financially, they command maximum AAVS, typically $12.5 million and up. But here's the paradox. They're still underpaid. Because the salary cap limits what any player can earn, the best players generate massive positive surplus value. Their actual contribution far exceeds what they're allowed to be paid. Jack Hughes, signed at $8 million, generated a projected $38 million in surplus value over his contract because his production vastly exceeded expectations. That contract efficiency is a competitive advantage, freeing up millions for supporting pieces. New Jersey can afford to build a complete roster around Hughes because they're not paying him what he's actually worth. The success of a salary cap team isn't determined by having elite players. It's determined by how efficiently those elite players are paid. Level 6 talent on team-friendly deals is the closest thing to a cheat code. Edmonton has Connor McDavid at $12.5 million, which sounds like a lot until you realize he's producing 6+ WAR. The development path to Level 6 is almost always through the draft. You can't trade for Level 6 players. Teams simply won't move them. The only way to acquire Level 6 talent is to draft them first overall or get incredibly lucky with a later pick. Level 6 players are also the ones who define eras. Gretzky defined the 1980s. Lemieux defined the late 80s and 90s. Crosby defined the 2000s and 2010s. McDavid is defining the 2020s. These players don't just dominate, they change how the game is played. The pressure on level 6 players is immense. They're expected to win championships. Anything less is considered a failure. McDavid is the best player in the world, but until he wins a Stanley Cup, there will always be an asterisk next to his legacy. Level 6 players are judged by championships, not individual statistics. Level 7, the generational apex talent, WAR greater than 6.5. Level 7 transcends contemporary analysis. These are the players who define eras and redefine what's possible at their position. Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, Connor McDavid in his peak seasons, they exist in a category beyond normal evaluation. They're not just the best players in the league, they're the best players anyone has ever seen. Their performance consistently sets new league standards. They don't just dominate, they make everyone else look like they're playing a different sport. When Gretzky scored 92 goals and 212 points in a single season, he didn't just break records, he shattered them. The previous record was 76 goals. He beat it by 16. That's level 7. Historically, this tier aligns with the Hockey Hall of Fame's inner circle, the top 40 most Hall of Fame-worthy players in history. These players aren't just inducted, they're immortalized. Multiple Hart trophies, Art Ross trophies, Norris trophies, and first All-Star team selections define their careers. Gretzky won 9 Hart trophies, or won 8 Norris trophies. Strategically, level 7 talent guarantees contention almost regardless of roster deficiencies. They're the ultimate competitive advantage, and they can only be obtained through the draft. You can't trade for generational talent. You can only draft it and pray. Edmonton drafted McDavid first overall in 2015. They've been a playoff team almost every year since. The development path to level 7 is visible from a young age. These players dominate at every level. McDavid was the best player in minor hockey, the best player in junior hockey, and immediately the best player in the NHL. There's no adjustment period. There's no learning curve. They're just better than everyone else from day one. The pressure on level 7 players is crushing. They're expected to be perfect. Every mistake is magnified. Every playoff loss is blamed on them. Gretzky had the benefit of winning 4 Stanley Cups early in his career. McDavid is still chasing his first, and despite being the best player in the world, there are people who question his legacy because of it. The analytics on level 7 players are historic. They don't just lead the league, they rewrite what's possible. Gretzky's 212-point season produced a WAR that was more than double the second best player. McDavid's best seasons have produced similar gaps. The statistical dominance is so complete that it's almost unfair. The trade value of level 7 players is infinite. They're literally untradeable. The only time a level 7 player has been traded in their prime was Gretzky to Los Angeles, and that trade nearly caused a national crisis in Canada. You don't trade generational talent, ever. The impact of level 7 players extends beyond the ice. They grow the game. They bring in new fans. They change the culture of their franchise and their city. Gretzky made hockey viable in Los Angeles. Crosby saved the Penguins franchise. McDavid has made Edmonton relevant again. The rarity of level 7 players is what makes them special. There have been maybe 10 to 15 players in NHL history who truly belong in this tier. Gretzky, Orr, Lemieux, Howe, Richard, Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid. The list is short. These are the players who transcend their era, who are remembered decades after they retire, who define what greatness looks like.